I can see that. But I was talking about roast dinner houses. I did actually go to a roast dinner house. It was delicious. In Sydney, Australia, on one of the corners of, I think it was King's Cross or something. But that's where I used to live, sort of like in the hostels in Australia. But the point is, there's one roast dinner house that was lovely. But wouldn't it be a good idea in England to be able to go to a roast dinner house? Like, they've got a chicken, which is half eaten or whatever, a chicken. Cook one bird at a time, cook one pig at a time. Cook one pig at a time, cook one chicken at a time, cook one cow at a time or whatever. But I have been to Waterstones where they do these steaks, which are quite nice. I do love the steaks in Waterstones. I don't know what they're called. Some restaurant I went to which did nice steaks and chips and stuff, and lettuce. Before COVID-19 sort of thing. You remember that? I did find a nice sort of steakhouse, but I'd like to go to a roast dinner house because my teeth are fucked and I'm not very good at chewing meat for a long time, which you have to do with steak. But I'm thinking of a roast dinner house, like something where you can buy roast chicken, potatoes, Brussels, and peas, and all the carrots and all the veg and stuff. Wouldn't that be a nice idea to have a roast dinner house? And then you have a cup of coffee as well. It could be a wine bar as well. A wine bar and roast dinner house would be nice. Kind of like a romantic wine. I used to have romantic meals years ago. Do you know, I was straight. Well, I was sort of bisexual at one point. I was gay to start with. When I was 14, I was gay. But when I got to 19, I sort of went, in my teenage years, later teenage years, I sort of went bisexual sort of thing. Because I fell in love with a girl at work, Ginny. I fell in love with Ginny, and we went to wine bars all the time, and steakhouses all the time, spent fortune on credit cards, and it was very romantic. But I'd like to go to a roast dinner house. We could sort of like have roast chicken or roast pork or roast beef, roast lamb or whatever, and have roast potatoes and a proper fucking full-on roast dinner sort of house, rather than a McDonald's every day. I'd like to go to a roast dinner house, and then for afters you could have all the different cheeses. You could have lots of cheeses and crackers and stuff, and a nice cup of coffee. And I miss the old days, man. Do you remember you used to be able to go to a restaurant? There was one restaurant in Hatfield which used to do sort of stuff, but I think they put liquors down. I can't remember what they were called now. Horse and Crows, I think. That was a nice wine bar, Jim. But we went to the Trocadero once, Jim. Do you know, actually, about virtual reality, Ginny? 1989, I think it was, or 1987 or something like that. We went to the Trocadero one night, and they had these virtual reality machines then. In about 1980, must have been about 1986, 1987, something like that. Ginny, you were about 1987. We went to the Trocadero for the wine bar, but then we went upstairs to the amusement arcade and had this crane and this virtual reality simulator. Like when you got inside this thing, and it was like a crane or a robot gun. I think it was a gun. I think it was a robot with a gun shooting some people. But we had virtual reality in the 1980s, man. Chin. Last time I went to Trocadero, probably about 1990. About the Trocadero. But I'm sure I know absolutely. 80 something, 86, maybe 87, 89. But they had virtual reality games then. Because they also had a game in one of the amusement arcades where I put a belt on and a mask and gloves, and it was like virtual reality inside, a bit like Asteroids.